everyone, so I'm here today to do a very quick summary of all the things that I purchased at IMATS this year. I went to IMATS in Sydney because that's where I live and it is the closest one to me. If you've never heard of it before, IMATS is the International Makeup Artist Trade Show. They put on trade shows all across the world. You can go to imats.net to see the closest one to you, and they hold them every year. I've been going to IMATS Sydney since 2013, I think, and every year I just have such a fantastic time. This year was no exception. This year was another year in which I went by myself, but that doesn't matter to me. I just have a really good time looking around. There are lots of different brands and different stores there that are selling their wares, or just letting you know like what they have, but there are also heaps of makeup artists that go and do talks and demonstrations and just walk around and talk to a lot of people. There's the Battle of the Brushes where a ton of students from different makeup schools come and do special effects throughout the day. That's really interesting as well. So anyway, I'm just going to jump into all of the things that I purchased. I'm going to give a quick disclaimer here at the beginning. If you don't like watching hauls and you don't like seeing people spend a lot of money, don't watch this haul because I did spend a lot of money. I'll have all the money that I spent down below if you happen to be that curious. Also, letting you know that this is brush and kind of skincare extra tools heavy. I didn't purchase any makeup unless you count one of these products as makeup. I go to IMATS to stock up on things that I wouldn't normally purchase throughout the year, and that's mostly brushes. I don't purchase brushes all that often, so I save up and I purchase a lot at IMATS. If you're not interested in brushes or tools, don't bother watching this video. But if those things do interest you, then just keep watching. I'll let you know a pro tip that I've come across over the years. I always go on the Sunday. Recently it's because I work on Saturdays, but also it's because there are almost no crowds on the Sunday. Almost no one goes on Sunday. But every single store, if you're worried about them restocking, they restock on Sunday. So they always have enough stock on the Sunday as the Saturday. So basically you just get to have exactly the same experience you would have had on the Saturday, but without massive lines, without massive crowds, no pushing, no shoving, no standing on people's feet. It's just a much chiller experience generally, and I've always much preferred going on Sunday over Saturday. But anyway, now on to the things that I purchased. I'm going to go in the order that I purchased them just so I don't forget to mention anything, and the first store that I went straight to upon entering was Hakuhodo. That's the store that, of all the stores available at IMATS, is the one that I pretty much target because I don't really like buying brushes online, and that's the only way to get Hakuhodo in Australia otherwise. So I saved up, I made a list, and I bought quite a few products from Hakuhodo. The first one is this one. This is the Yachiyo Tapered Kabuki brush. This brush I used to have. If you watch my previous two IMATS hauls, I've mentioned this brush. Between last year's haul and the end of the year, I lost my brush. I've no idea where it went. I'm pretty sure if it went anywhere, I accidentally threw it away, which is absurd, but I did. I cried about it. It was really upsetting when I realized I didn't have it anymore, so this year I definitely needed to purchase a new one. This one is made out of goat hair and it has a bamboo twist base. It also has the little purple string at the end. I really like using this one for blush. The other face brush I purchased from Hakuhodo is this one. It's a really long kind of floppy goat hair brush. It actually doesn't have the number printed on it, which is kind of annoying, but I will find it and I'll list it down below. I'll list down below everything that I can find about all these products, including the prices that I paid for them, in case you're curious about what kind of discount you get at IMATS. So I purchased this because I've always wanted one of these really long floppy brushes. I think it'll be really nice for pigmented blush or for highlighter. And then the rest of the brushes that I purchased are eye brushes. So the only one that isn't really a shader brush is this one. This also doesn't have the number printed on it, also really annoying. But basically it's just a tapered kind of blending crease brush. This I'm pretty sure is in horsehair, but I'll let you know otherwise in the description. And I just purchased this for precise crease work. This tiny little shader brush is the J144H. It's a horsehair again. It's a little bit floppy, but I got this mostly for inner corner highlight and for under eye, like underneath the lash line smudging of eyeshadow. So that's why I purchased that little detailer one. The next one is the J004H. Also horsehair, also a flat shader brush, but this one's a little bit larger. Purchased this one to pack color all over the lid, basically. Just a really standard brush, and I just wanted a new one. Next is very similar to that last one, but I'll show you the difference. This one is taller and has more of a taper at the tip. Both of them are horsehair. This one is the J133H, and I also purchased this just as another alternative to a flat shader brush. And the last Hakuhodo brush I purchased is this one. This is the J532. This is goat hair, and it is also a flat shader brush, but in comparison to the other two, it is much larger. Goat hair is stiffer, so it's got a lot less give than the horsehair does, but I did really like it for basically single shadow looks. I wanted to be able to put as much shadow on the lid as soon as possible. So those are all the brushes that I purchased from Hakuhodo. I also got two accessories. The first one is this little bar of soap. This is their brush soap without any colorant in it, and I just got the small size because I've never tried it before and I wanted to give that a go. And then I also purchased this. This is a brush bag. It's in their lime green and black colorway. And it looks like this on the inside. It's got little sleeves and a window on this side, and then on this side it's got kind of like 4 sets of sleeves and another window. I just thought this was a nice handy bag to have. It's not too big, so I can probably fit just enough brushes in it. I have a brush bag that's attached to a makeup bag, and it just sometimes gets a little bit cramped if I'm going away for longer than a few days, so I decided to get that one. And then I wandered over to the Real Techniques booth. I knew Real Techniques was going to be there, but in Australia the prices are so inflated, I wasn't planning on buying anything. I prefer to just order stuff from iHerb because I get to pay US prices and I just pay a little bit for shipping. But because it was right in front of me, I was tempted and I did end up purchasing something. So the first thing I got I've never seen before, and it says new on it, so it makes me think it's coming to stores soon. This is the Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge, but in a 4-pack. This was discounted to $30 at the IMATS, which means that there were 4 sponges for the price of 1 beauty blender. So that's basically how I justified it, because I thought if I was going to pay $30 for 1 beauty blender, I may as well get 4 Miracle Complexion sponges. I also picked up the Stippling brush. I used to have this brush, but when I washed it one day, all the bristles fell out. I didn't do anything to it, it just completely fell apart, so I decided to get a replacement because I really like using this for bronzer. And then after that I wandered over to the Mac Pro store. I was planning on buying a few things because you get 20% off at IMATS on Mac products, and that's pretty much the best discount you can get on Mac in Australia. So I decided to pick up a tried and true product. This is the Mac Fix Plus. It's one of my favorite Mac products, and I literally just finished my bottle, so I waited until IMATS to purchase a replacement at 20% off. I love using this like after I've applied all my makeup, just to give it a bit of a dewy finish, but I also like it for wetting brushes for applying products wet, and I just wanted to get another one. After that, I decided I was done purchasing for the day. I decided to go watch a demonstration which had the makeup artists from Mad Max Fury Road, who I saw speak at IMATS last year. They and their team were there to age down and age up this man. So they were doing non-prosthetic aging on a face, which was really interesting. And as I was watching it, the woman who was doing the age down side of his face, she sprayed his face with Fix Plus and then blended it out with a stippling brush. And I went up to her afterwards and was like, what was that? Why did you use that? That looked really good. And it did. So she told me it was a MAC brush. I then headed straight over back to the MAC Pro counter and purchased it. So the brush that she used was the MAC 187. It's I think their largest face duo fiber stippling brush. And I purchased it because I thought it looked really good when she used it. I love a good duo fiber brush. And I've actually never purchased a MAC brush before, so I thought this was a great chance to do that. I also thought, while I was looking at the brushes, I may as well purchase the classic 217. This is a blending eyeshadow brush. If you've been around YouTube or the blogging community for a while, this is one of the most talked about brushes of all time. It used to be an absolute staple. I wouldn't watch a single tutorial where someone didn't end up using this brush. I've never owned it and decided what better time to purchase it than at IMATS this year. So I decided to purchase that. This one was an absolutely shocking price. This was $85 full price. To let you know how much that is, this is a synthetic fiber brush and it was twice the price of even the most expensive real hair brush I got from Hakuhodo. This is not better quality than Hakuhodo, but I was absolutely floored when she told me the price. I still purchased it because I'm a little bit of a sucker, but my god, MAC is overpriced. So then I was like absolutely 100% completely done, and then I wandered over to Crown Brushes and I purchased another brush. So this brush also doesn't have a name printed on it, but from memory it's from their C collection and it's a Duo Fibre foundation brush, but I'll find out and link it down below. I purchased this because it's a pretty interesting shape. It's not one that I see a lot of and it's not one that I own. It's flattened on the side, a bit pinched, with a round top. I also just generally love a good duo fiber brush, so I purchased this one mostly because I want to see how it goes with cream blushes, so I got that one. And then I wandered around to the other side of the Crown brush stall because it was absolutely ginormous, and I saw these and they were only $10 and I thought it was pretty cheap, but I've always heard good things about these and just wanted to give it a try. So this is a brush cleaning mat. It's got a few different textures to it. These are all just silicone textures. So there's like the refine eye section, the washing of the eye section here, and they're all just different stiffnesses, different patterns. This is a face brush over here. It's got suction cups on the back, so you stick it into the bottom of your sink with the drain here, and then you basically just wet your brush and rub it with the soap into the silicone. These became pretty popular a year or two ago when Sigma started selling them. I just thought it might actually make my brush washing a lot easier because I hate washing my brushes. So purchased that. It was only $10, so I thought even if it's horrible, it's not that much of a loss. And then I was completely done. I decided I wasn't going to purchase any more. I was just going to have a coffee, go over, watch Carol Mackey do a demonstration. I went over, watched do a demonstration of 2 different runway looks. They were absolutely beautiful. She did like 2 really dewy faces. One of them she did a blended lipstick around the eyes and then a bright red lip. And then the next woman she did a super glossy skin and then an eye gloss on the eye. Absolutely beautiful, completely fell in love with both of the looks, and then proceeded back over to the MAC Pro store to purchase 2 of the products. The first product I purchased I have heard of, but not really heard much about. This is the MAC Lightful Sea Marine Bright Formula Softening Lotion Spray. So she was using this on a beauty blender pressed into the skin, sort of like a prep before putting on primer. Reading the back of it, it says you should use it kind of like a toning lotion before moisturizing, and basically it's just supposed to be really brightening and softening on the skin. It gave a beautiful finish to the skin on the model, so I decided to purchase it. It's a bit interesting because it is a spray lotion that it comes out in a really fine mist, but I love the way that she used it on this sponge, so I'm going to see if I can use it in a similar way. And then she also mixed in a new product from MAC from the new like Strobe collection that they're doing. I don't think it's launched in Australia yet, but I've seen it all over online. She used the gold color, but because I'm really pale, I decided to go with a different color, and I purchased the MAC Strobe Cream in the shade Pink Light, which is the actual original formula. It also now comes in gold, silver, red, and peach. But because I am so pale, I went with the pink one. It's got kind of like a lavender pink shift to it. I've always been interested in this, and now that I'm kind of out of any sort of liquid luminizers, I decided to purchase a bottle. On the bottle, she mixed this in with a foundation and pressed it into the skin over the top of the brightening lotion, and it looks amazing. So I bought this one as well. And there you have it. Those are all of the products that I purchased at IMATS. I carried them all around in this absolutely enormous IMATS bag that they give you at the beginning. And I just had like such a wonderful day. I so enjoyed watching all the demonstrations that I saw. I love browsing makeup, and I love looking at what's new and seeing what people are doing, and just being around a lot of people who really love the stuff that I do as well. I highly recommend going if you're ever interested. It's every single year in Sydney. It's in November, so that's when I usually hit it up. Next year, if you happen to be there on the Sunday, I'll probably be there as well. But anyway, those are all the products that I purchased at IMATS 2016. If you went to IMATS, please let me know what you purchased. I know a lot of people went on the Saturday. Tell me how crazy it was, because it's always been crazy when I go on the Saturdays. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye.